What's out?
Well, on the subject of seeing things in the cinema, Godland, which is directed by Hlynur Pálmason, who is an Icelandic director whose name I'm sure I have mangled, and forgive me, directed White Day, which was Iceland's submission for the 92nd Academy Awards. This is a 19th century tale of a Danish priest, Lucas, who is sent by his superiors to go to Iceland to set up a church. He is told it's going to be a rough journey. You will meet people who are very different from the people you know here. The people, the weather. There are also volcanoes that, and I'm slightly paraphrasing, he says, a volcano that smells as if the earth has pooped its pants.
Mm-hmm. That's about right.
He's also told that he must adapt, which is something which is going to be quite hard for this sort of stern-faced, slightly puritanical soul, who, when confronted with the kind of the majesty of God's creation, there's a line in which he says it's terribly beautiful, and the reply comes, it's terrible and beautiful. He's also interested in photography, and he takes with him this photographic kit, this wet plate kit, and we see a lot of stuff about him, putting the egg white on the glass and the preparation of the image, and there's something magic about the image. And incidentally, in its original title, which is presented on screen in both Danish and Icelandic, the film is not called Godland, it is called Wretched Land. Anyway, here is a clip of him losing the plot whilst attempting to take photographs.
That's Satan, he says, at the end, which I imagine is a super curse word.
If you were listening to that, basically there's a lot of ice. There is a
fantastic
tripod
crunching
with
of snow.
Fantastic crunching of snow, and somebody just, losing it. And then the second half of the film, in which he has arrived at his destination, is about whether or not he can adapt to the community. Can he possibly find love? There is the guide with whom he has had this very, very fractious relationship, Ragnar. And it is clear that they are going to come to blows, both mental and physical, whilst he wrestles with his own soul and with the land around him. Here's the thing. The film is, as you saw from that clip, I know if you're listening on the podcast you won't have seen it, but it's square frame, Academy ratio, with sort of slightly rounded edges that seem to kind of match the idea of an old photograph. And the film has, the camera is largely static on a tripod. It's very slow pans, so kind of to capture the kind of the quality of the photographs that he's making. And the film is about a lot of things. I mean, it's about miscommunication, about people not speaking the same language. It's about inner conflicts, outer conflicts. It's about faith and the absence of it, and the earthly and the heavenly, or in that particular case, perhaps the satanic. And I mean, I thought it was really engrossing. It's a slow-moving film, and I was talking to my friend Nigel Floyd about this, and I said it's one of those films that, it asks for your patience. You have to give it time, but there is one shot in it. And all I can say about it is a slow panning shot from something in the very distance to something very, very close. And it is one of the most breathtaking pieces of storytelling in one shot that I can remember. Now, it moves at its own pace, and it requires you to get into swing of its tempo. But it also has this kind of darkly satirical undertone. It was funny because when you were watching that clip, you laughed, because it is funny. I mean, there is a kind of, this sort of satire underneath it. But it's also kind of quite profound and cheeky and wry. But really, I would say if you're going to see Godland, then I would encourage you to do so, because I think it is a really fine piece of cinema. Go and see it in the cinema.
That's quite some contrast in title, from Wretched Land to Godland.
Godland, yeah.
Very rarely a film's, it's like the opposite.
I know.
On one hand, you're saying this is God's own country.
Yeah,
and on the other hand, you're saying don't go there.
I know. But also there is something about wretched is, as I said, it's basically encapsulated in that thing. It's terribly beautiful here. It is terrible, and it is beautiful.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's Take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.